Okay, hello everybody. Now this is a treat tonight. We're here talking about fundamental number 4, practice blameless problem solving. And we are here with the one and only founder, creator of CultureWise, the fundamentals. It's who much of our company is modeled after, meaning One Georgia. And certainly the backbone of our culture and who created the fundamentals, David Friedman. But before hearing from David and practice blameless problem solving, as is tradition, let's play a little music. And I'm going to bring back an oldie but a goodie. Some of you young guys will go, who in the heck is this? Some of you will know exactly who this. This is 2 of the great lip syncers of all time, Milli Vanilli. And we're talking about blame and how we handle that. But what do you think about this? So, David, I thought only fitting for
Absolutely.
us to talk about, problems arise, people want to blame, and this song they're telling us to blame it on the rain.
Maybe blame it on somebody.
Blame it on somebody.
Exactly.
But talk about, this was a tenet in our organization before at Northwestern Benefit, but it's once again a fundamental here at One Georgia and OneDigital. And it's, as you know, in our business, and really all businesses, but certainly in the benefits business, it's not if stuff's going to go wrong. It's just when it's going to go wrong.
Absolutely.
So talk about this fundamental and what it means to you, how you view it, and how you would tell us to think about it.
Yeah. So the first thing I'd say, David, is that this is a fundamental that is in virtually every single one of our clients. It's one of the ones I wrote originally at RSI, my first company. And it's one that resonates with almost everybody. When I talk about examples of fundamentals with people and I mention practice blameless problem solving, people always say, oh, I love that one. We got to have that one.
Right.
Because it's so powerful. So first thing I would say is that, like you said, problems are going to happen. We're not going to avoid problems. So when problems happen in most organizations, and most of us have this experience, the first thing people do, whose fault was it? It wasn't my fault. They start blaming each other. And when people start getting blamed, they become defensive. And when we become defensive, what aren't we doing? We're not fixing anything.
Right.
So I always say, when I think about blameless problem solving, I like to divide it into 3 steps. First step is, when a problem happens, fix the darn thing.
Right.
Who cares whose fault it is? Let's just solve it. The claim didn't get paid right, or whatever happened, coverage wasn't right. Just fix the problem. The second thing that's important after we fix it is, let's go back and do a little bit of diagnosis to see, well, why did that happen? What are we going to learn from this? Because, if we didn't learn anything, it wasn't much good. And the third thing that's important, and this is the one that most people skip, is after we learn something, how do we incorporate what we just learned into some kind of a process improvement so that we now have a new improved process that reduces the chance of making the same mistake again? If we don't do that, we didn't really learn enough. So I'll hear some people that will say, you know what, we don't focus on blaming our company. We fix problems and we move on. I don't want to move on.
Right.
I want to make sure we learn something. We got to do something different in the future so that we reduce the chance of making that mistake again.
Yeah, we often say that even today that most of our processes come from places where we didn't do our best work.
Yeah.
And I think it's this giving people the freedom to fail.
Yes.
And when they do, don't blame them. Fix the problem, and then learn from the failure and build a new process that makes you better going forward.
I think absolutely. Now I'll give you just one twist on that.
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of people talk about, you shouldn't be afraid to fail. And I have a slightly different way of thinking about them than most.
Okay.
So my point of view is that I think really successful people don't fail. They don't see it as failure. We have experiences. Some of those experiences work out the way I expected. Some work out different than I expected. They're just experiences, and I learn from every of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out great, and I learn from that. Sometimes it doesn't, and I learn from that. It's not a failure. As soon as we to tell people you shouldn't be afraid to fail is really difficult because we spent our whole lives trying not to fail.
Yeah.
So to say, well, don't think of it as bad. Well, I do. It's a bad word. So I like to just reframe that as, it's not failure, it's just an experience.
Yeah.
We have lots of experience in our lives, and we learn from all of them.
So you heard it here first. It's not that it's okay to fail. It's okay to learn.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
really when things don't go as planned.
Yes, you learn.
We learn.
Exactly.
And that's how we get better. So,
Absolutely.
David, thanks for being part of the Culture Cab.
It is my pleasure. Now, you have to point out for people why we're not driving.
Oh, well, yeah, it's about 9 o'clock at night. We just had a great dinner. David's in town to share some of his wisdom with some organizations tomorrow, as he's doing his 581st talk, 581 Vistage talks. That does not even count some of the other talks. So he is sharing his wisdom all over the country, now has over 400 clients practicing fundamentals or whatever they choose to call them. And we're fortunate enough to be one of those. So, David, thanks, and we appreciate it.
But you didn't explain to them why we're not driving.
Oh, well, it's
because we couldn't find. All right, so here's the story. So we're sitting here, and I know that these other ones, David's usually driving somewhere, and you see in the background the cars going by, and you're praying that he's not getting in an accident. So because it's night and we weren't sure what kind of lighting we could get doing that, we pulled into the hotel parking lot where there's some lights above us. So we figured this is still a little bit dark, but you could at least see us and get some light, whereas if we were driving, you wouldn't.
So that was learning for me. It was learning for me. So next time I will build a better process and tell why we aren't moving.
Yes,
so
anyway,
thanks for keeping me on track, and as you have for so many years. Hey, everybody, have a great one, great rest of the week, and join me and David and others in practicing blameless problem solving. Have a great one. Take care.